Before you fall in love with a house, we'll show you how you can afford it.
If you haven't done the monthly payment math yet, you're not house hunting, you're window shopping. In today's episode, we're giving you 6 steps to help you on your way to buying a house.
If you ever said, we'll make it work, this episode is your permission slip to run the numbers first. Most people buy a house backwards. They fall in love with the house before they know the number.
And that's how excitement turns into stress. So today, we're flipping the script.
We're walking through 6 things to do before you buy a home, like knowing your budget first.
Exactly, because this isn't about getting approved for the biggest number or stretching your limits just to keep up. My name is Kevin.
And my name is Dan. Before you scroll in the listing, let's start with the one number that controls everything. Your budget.
What they really should be asking us is, what can I be pre-approved for based on the payment that's most comfortable to them? Because what you can pay for and what I can afford are going to be very, very different numbers, even if we make the same amount of money every month.
We both have different lifestyles, correct? So what that means is I have to have a pretty good handle on my budget before I start going in to buy a house so that I can understand what my budget would allow me to comfortably afford. So would you say that there's a general guideline that we could use as what a comfortable housing payment might be?
Keep that monthly payment at no more than 25% of your take-home pay. That's going to help you afford that monthly payment, but also continue to put money towards your financial future.
And there's a lot of really great calculators that I found online that could help me with that. A good conversation with my loan officer can also help me understand what that payment is that equates to that loan amount so that I know where my budget is for the houses I should be shopping for. Once you know the payment that fits your life, the next step is building the cash to make it possible. When you talk about down payment, how much do you actually need? Because I've heard so many people say to me, oh, you need 20% to buy a house. Is that a good thing to save up 20%?
20% is a great thing to put down if you can, make that work within your budget. 20% helps you avoid that private mortgage insurance, which is an added expense on your monthly payment. But luckily, there are options where you don't have to put the full 20% down.
However, Kevin, as you're well aware, you're not only saving for the down payment, right? What else are you saving for when you're saving to buy a house?
We also need to be thinking about the closing costs because there's going to be, fees. And outside of that, you also need to make sure you have at least the first year of homeowners insurance, because when you purchase that home, you are required to have homeowners insurance, and that first year can be a lot upfront. Now, outside of just those closing costs and down payment, you also want to make sure that you have some money saved for once you own that home. Inevitably, something is going to break. Something is going to need to get replaced.
I was just telling someone a story the other day how I had 3 appliances break in a single week. I had my refrigerator, I had my dishwasher, and my dryer all go out within a week. And so that's why I always advise people to have that fund set aside for those purposes, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when those things will go out.
Getting pre-approved is how you turn that momentum from saving for a down payment into a real buying plan.
A seller generally won't even look at your bid unless you have a pre-approval letter. And if you're buying cash, they want some kind of verification of deposit. So either way, you have to prove that you actually have the buying power to make that offer. Because when a seller accepts your offer, what they're doing is they're taking the house off the market for a period of time. And they don't want to take the house off the market and lose other potential sellers if they're just wasting your time with you. So getting that pre-approval letter, getting it over to your realtor, and your realtor submitting the offer with the pre-approval letter makes your offer way stronger than it would have been had you not had that first. I know it's so tempting to go shopping first. I know it's so tempting to go on Redfin or Zillow and just peruse houses that are in your local market. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you get your heart set on a particular home without having that pre-approval letter first.
Completely agree, Dan. We often find a lot of home buyers falling in love with that house and then realizing that they can't afford it with their current income and budget. And as a loan officer, it's a very difficult conversation to have because we don't want to be that bearer of bad news. We want to make sure that we set people up ahead of time with the right expectations, the right budget, constraints to ensure that they're looking at homes they can truly afford and live financially free.
In a scenario that I had when I was buying my last house, I qualified for more than what I wanted, more than I felt comfortable spending on a monthly payment for my family. And therefore, even though I can qualify for more, we made a family decision that we were going to stay in this price range and not go above it because we wanted our monthly payment to not make us house poor.
With your pre-approval in hand, it's time to find a real estate agent that helps you stick to the plan and respects your financial boundaries. The right agent won't push you past your numbers. They'll help you stay true to them.
The realtor itself can be a huge help throughout the transaction. There's a lot of different key milestones throughout the transaction that a good realtor can help you stay on target so that everything runs smoothly. Also, a good realtor should be a really professional negotiator on your behalf. They're there to advocate that you and your best interests are being served throughout the transaction. They're the ones who are be able to negotiate through a series of addendums and conversations with the selling agent, who will then talk to their sellers.
Never purchase a home without having a realtor. They're using the tools at their disposal that most of us don't have access to because we're not licensed realtors. So I can just give them basically an order list of all my wants and all of my needs, and they can find several homes in that area that are going to fit for me. So I love the time savings that realtors provide for me.
After you find the right agent to support your goals, it's time to start house hunting by getting clear on what you truly need versus what's just nice to have. That's needs versus wants. It's about avoiding lifestyle debt creep.
A needs versus want list is critical when you're searching for a home. And my best suggestion is make 2 columns. You got one column that's listing out all of your wants and another column listing all of your needs. Those needs are going to be, how many bedrooms do I need for my family? How many bathrooms do I need in that home to support my family? Do I want it to be close to a church that I possibly attend? Do I want it close to my employer? Those wants are going to be the fun, the nice to haves. Is it close to a Target? Does the home have a pool? Does the pool have a jacuzzi? You know, these are all things that are really, really fun to have, but is it truly a need? In my opinion, no. But everyone's going to be a little bit different. The wants versus the needs is going to help your realtor know what you're looking for and what's a non-negotiable.
Absolutely. I remember when buying our last home, I had 2 absolute needs. One, the house had to be in a particular town that I wanted to live in because it was known for having good school districts. And I wanted to save money not sending my kids to private school. Yeah. And 2, I had to have a 4th bedroom because we were a growing family and we needed that 4th bedroom.
You didn't build this plan to abandon it under pressure. Patience is how you protect your progress.
Buying a home is one of the biggest purchases you'll ever make in your life. You don't want to impulse buy something, or you don't want to buy a home out of desperation. You want to make sure that you have a plan in place. I'll give you an example of how I've really had to resist the temptation to impulse buy a house recently. My mother is aging, and it is part of our long-term plan to eventually move her in with us. We are on the look for those kinds of homes that are multi-generational living. Recently, I found something that I was like, oh, I think that's perfect. But I remembered, we're on a disciplined plan. We're not gonna buy a house outside of that plan. And so therefore, I really had to just calm my emotions a little bit and say, nope, we're gonna stick with what we know is right in terms of our timeline, and we're gonna hold off for another 5 years. Buying a home doesn't start with a listing. It starts with a plan.
When you set a budget, save intentionally, and stick to your plan, you're not just buying a house, you're protecting your progress and peace of mind.
That's how homeownership becomes a step toward financial freedom, not a setback.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.